to my morning crafting. Today I'm going to be crafting this card here, which I absolutely love, but a sort of divided opinion at my house. Some people think it's really nice and other people don't. So we'll go on the side of the people who think it's really nice, because I do quite love it. It actually uses the upcoming Saleabration free stamp set, which is this one. It's the Delicate Dahlias. It's got some lovely, this image is just really, really lovely. It has the outline here that you can stamp in black, and then it has an infill stamp, which is one of our dimensional stamps that'll give us a nice sort of 3D natural effect there, which we'll use a bit later on. We've got the leaf, obviously, and a little bloom here that's got the same sort of setup. And a couple of little nice sentiments, a sympathy one, and then an inspiration and a thank you. So they're nice sort of little bit different sentiments that you might not your normal happy birthday there. But anyway, so yeah, really like this stamp. From the 3rd of August, it'll be available to customers. You have to place a $180 retail, that's Australian, order, and you can choose this as your free stamp set or your freebie with Saleabration. So basically that's the sales period from the 3rd of August through to the end of September. As I say, for $180 you can get this one for free, and it's really worth it. I think it's one of my favorites. Anyway, so I'm going to, as I say, make this little card here. So I've used the outline stamp from the stamp set, obviously, and I've masked the main image here in the corner. I've masked it to bring 2 other images and make them look like they're sort of tucked in behind, which is a lovely masking technique, which is very handy. So we'll do that. I have used the sentiment from Biggest Wishes, which is available in the current annual catalogue. And it's the first time I've used it, and I'm really, really happy with the way that sentiment worked out. Yeah, so we'll use that again for this one. And I'm using also a fair few techniques happening in this one. I've used very vanilla card base, cardstock in that front one, and I've actually used our blending brushes to give it sort of a bit of a dirty, almost antique look to it there, just to sort of take the cleanness off the very vanilla. So we'll do that as well. So yeah, it's there's a fair few things happening with this one for a sort of simple, sort of deceptively simple design. I can see a couple of people jumping on, which is great. I've got Barb and Sally and Maggie and Jan. Good morning, Jan. There's a fair few of you there. Just jump on and say hi. Tell me where you're watching from. It'd be great to know who's in the audience today. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece of very vanilla, as I mentioned. I've got 2 pieces cut here. I've got a slightly smaller one, so I want a slightly larger, which isn't that one, a slightly larger border of the black around the edge. So I've made this one 3 7/8 by 5.5, and my card base is, my normal card base is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, scored at the middle. So this one is slightly smaller. So as I say, I can get a nice border of the black around there. Plus I've got a 1/8 of an inch smaller one that I'm just going to pop inside there just for my personal message, but I'll do that later. So I'm just going to keep this one here, which is our panel for the front. I'm going to grab my trusty blending brush. Love these brushes. And I'm going to use Cake Crumb as my the ink that I'm going to use to blend it, sort of just dirty it up a little bit. Just going to just do that. So just with my blending brush, which I've cleaned off already from last night, but it's still didn't quite do a very good job there. Just bear with me. I'm just going to check and make sure that everything looks right on my iPad. Yep, that looks pretty good. Excellent. I like to keep an eye on things just to make sure that you guys are seeing what I think you're seeing. Anyway, okay, so we've got this one here, which is our smaller of the 2. And I'm just going to pop just a tiny bit of ink on my blending brush, not going to go too mad. And I'm really just going to blend in this top sort of right hand top right hand corner, because I'm going to have all my flowers in this corner, so I don't really want to make that too dark, but I'm going to bring the colour in from the top right hand. So with the blending brushes, you're best to start off the paper a little bit, just so you don't get that heavy beginning. And I'm just going to, as I say, just sort of dirty it off a bit, which sounds a weird thing to say in card making, but that's basic, just taking the edge off it a little bit. I'm just going to do it around, as I say, the top right hand sort of corner. Okay, so there we are. So that's probably a good way of showing you what effect I've caused there, because I have actually just left that corner completely free of ink. So you can see it's probably out of the light a little bit, sort of given that a little bit of a bit of a wash, bit of a look, and then you can see it contrasting to the inked in the bottom. Cool. So now what we might do is bring in our Dahlia stamp. It's a fairly big stamp, so you need a fairly big block for it. And I've got it here. So as I said, we're going to do some masking. And what I've done, I've used as my mask is just a normal old sticky note. And I'll show you how I've done that. So here I have my pad of sticky notes. I'm just going to grab some black ink, but it wouldn't have to be any particular colour. I've got some black ink here somewhere. There we are. Just ink that up. And making sure you get a fair bit of it on the sticky part of your sticky note. Just stamp that down. So then what you need to do is basically grab a pair of scissors and cut that out. So fussy cut that flower, and then you get yourself a little mask. So I won't do that again, because basically life's too short to watch me fussy cutting that particular image. It's a little bit fiddly. It's not too bad. They're not complicated shapes. It's just there's quite a bit going on. So anyway, that's my mask that I used last night. So that's one I'll use today as well. Okay, so we'll bring back our little sponged panel. And as I say, the first image is just going to go straight on. So I'll bring back my stamp set and my ink it up. And I suppose everybody would do this, but you may notice that for large stamps, I actually bring my ink down on top rather than going in that way. I find it easier just to get the ink on a larger stamp by coming in from the top. So I'm going to put the first one basically on the whole stamp, the whole image, onto the corner. And our phone's gone now. My husband will get that. And just that one there. So you can see that's just a really lovely sort of floral image there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my mask now and sort of rotate it to the right bit, if I can work out which way it goes. There it is. So I'm just going to lay that over, just position it, and now I'm going to bring in and do the second and third images around that. So I'm going to go there. Hang on, I'll just check on, guys. Give me for a second. I'll see who's on the phone. Apologies about that. Just checking who it was. Family issues at the moment, and you don't want to miss a call that might be important. Anyway, so this second one, which it obviously isn't because Steve says it's okay, he can handle it. This second little one I'm going to bring in on the bottom right-hand corner, just like that. Oh, I've skipped that. Oh dear. I think I'm going to have to do that again. I skipped it. You can see I've skipped the image, so I can't do that one. I might have to turn it over and start again. Oh, joys of live crafting. I got myself distracted with the phone. Anyway, all right. Okay, you get to watch me doing it again, which won't take me too long, which is fine. I'm going to bring in the brush again, just to reinforce the learning. And bring it in around here. Apologies for that. It always goes wrong. When it goes wrong, it goes wrong. And thankfully, paper has two sides. Okay, so there we are. We've just brought back our ink. I've made that a little bit darker than the first time. Let's see how that goes. Thankfully, I hadn't got to the time-consuming part of this card. Okay, so we'll bring this one in. There. Okay, place our mask. Which way it goes, turn it around. Where is it? Which way does it go? That way. That's it, I think. Yep, that's it. We'll put our mask in. Now make sure you rotate when you put your bring your other stamps in. Just make sure you rotate it a little bit so that your image just looks a little bit varied, so it doesn't look like the same image repeated. Okay, so let's put this in. So in the second one, as I say, up here to on the top. And we'll see if we can get the third one in without skipping it. Down here. That was better. Cool. Awesome. Done. There you go. You've seen it done twice now. Okay, so we bring off our little mask, and you can see that our three dahlias are sort of all tucked in behind each other, which is really, really nice. Gives it that little bit more, looks a little bit more natural. Okay, so now I'm going to colour the three. So you probably settle in with a cup of coffee here, because it might take a little while. I'm going to use light and dark Blackberry Bliss, which is my colour at the moment after seeing that wonderful paper, the new paper from the new catalogue. I'm just obsessed with Blackberry Bliss. So anyway, I'm going to use the dark one first, just to add in the shadows. This might take a little while, so I'll try and be as quick as I can, but sort of just where you can imagine the leaves would be a little bit darker, sort of away from the light, underneath. Just sort of think about the sun coming in from maybe that top right-hand corner there, and what would catch the light. So I'm just going to basically just put a dark. You don't have to be overly precise, because we're going to come back in with the light Blackberry Bliss, the light version, and we're going to sort of blend all that in. Okay. So we went to an open home this morning. That's why I'm a little bit late. Another open home with my son and his partner. And a really good thing was my husband actually came. He hadn't actually come to any of the open homes that we'd been to of late. And I don't think he realised just how crazy the market is at the moment. I mean, compared to when we bought this place 22, 23 years ago, the market is just totally crazy. People, open homes just packed with people. Yeah, so, but anyway, it was a nice little place. Another one to consider. We'll see how they go. They're in no rush. They're living with us anyway, so, you know, it's quite nice having them. Okay, so there we are. We've done the first little highlights of this first one. So I'm just going to bring back in the light Blackberry Bliss. And again, I'm just going to blend all those in. So as I say, in the center here, you can just basically go a little bit crazy and just blend them all in. You have to be a bit more careful around the edges, of course. You don't want to have it look too shabby. Just bring it in and just blend all those dark bits in. So I'm using the brush end of my blend, which I find blends a lot better. It sort of releases a lot more ink than the texture end, which is lovely for this. Okay, just blending that all in. We have a bit here where there's no flower, so I'm wondering what I'm going to do there. Maybe I bring a fourth flower in, or I'll just leave it plain, or maybe a leaf. I'll have a bit of a think as we go. I didn't have that much blank space with the first card. I've obviously moved up a little bit with my image this time round. Yes, I'm noticing people are saying that the market's crazy in other places as well. Or is that because you're going mad in, is that Barb? Who was that? Maggie saying you're going mad in lockdown, are you, Maggie? Well, hopefully it won't be too much longer. Thankfully here in Hobart we haven't had a lockdown for a little while, but I think we're all realising that it is just a matter of time with the numbers of visitors we've had over the last few weeks and people coming home from holidays and things. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Paper crafting, yes, definitely a good way of keeping insanity at bay. Okay, so there's the first little guy done. I'll just bring that into the light so you can see the light and the dark. Now I'm just going to accentuate that light and dark a little bit by bringing my colour lifter in. So this is a clear sort of liquid that's in this little pen and actually lifts some of the colour away even more than the light shade. And if I put it on pieces of the flower, that would be in the strongest light, so like the front-facing surfaces, it'll lighten them up even more. It's probably a subtle effect and probably something only another card maker would notice, but I like it. It just adds that third shade of colour. Just adds it that little bit of light. It does make the colour run a little bit, so don't go too close to the edge if you decide you want to use it. Steer away from the very edge because it will run a little bit. And it takes a few minutes to take effect as well. So as we watch, that's going to lighten those little patches up even more. Okay, so I'm going to do the others with the dark. This is my dark, isn't it? Yep. Again, just with the bits of the flower that would be in the shadow. Probably as interesting as watching paint dry, watching another crafter colour in, but it is worth it. In this particular card, it is definitely worth it to hand colour these. The next one I do, I'm going to do another card with this Dahlia set, just to whet your appetite. And I'm going to use the infill stamp, so we won't have to do the colouring, which will be good. Got a bit confused there. I probably should be bottom edge, but I've gone top edge. Oh well, doesn't matter. Yeah, while I'm at it, I'll do this other one as well. Bit of shadow there where the two flowers would sort of overlap naturally. So I'll do dark all the way in there. Okay. Yeah. And again, I'm going to bring in the light one and just blend that all in. Just be careful if you are using your brush end of your blends. I've ruined a few by sort of being a bit too heavy and going in a few too many directions. Stick to one direction, sort of up and away, rather than scrunching it in two directions if you can. Yeah, they do tend to fray off a bit, the brush end, if you're a bit rough. I tend to not bring them out too much in classes, my good ones anyway, because they tend to get a bit abused too much. There we are. That's that one. That one looks really good actually. For a roughy, quick job, it's gone quite well. Okay, she says not to scrunch and she's done it herself. Okay, nearly done. Okay, so there's that one done. So there's our three there. You can see the lights and the darks, which looks really, really nice. Okay, I don't know that I'm going to need any of the lifter on these ones because I think I've left them a little bit lighter anyway, but I'll just do a little bit here and there just to be consistent. And this one as well. Okay, so that'll do. There we are. So we have our three flowers, and I think I really like the flowers up against the sort of slightly dirty look of the background there that we've done. I have to sort of think about what I'm going to do down here. I think actually I'm just going to, what will I do? If I just bring in, apologies, as I say, it's not a problem I had with the first one because I must have come down a little bit too far or come down a bit further. I'm just going to put my, just roughly put my mask back in and just bring some flower in from there. And the same here. Okay. Okay, yeah, and then I'll just bring in just the light one and just colour those, just so it looks like I've got some more happening in the background there than just blank space. Okay. There we are. Cool, that's better. Okay, so we've got that whole corner filled in with flowers now, which is really, really nice. I like that. So hopefully you guys like that too. I'm going to keep that mask. I mean, as long as that stays sticky, you can keep using that mask again and again and again, which I will use it in my next one as well, I think, even though I haven't really made that card up yet. Oh, it's still in my head, but we'll work along. Okay, so now I'm going to put the sentiment on, and then we're practically finished. This is, apart from a little bit of colouring in, it's quite a nice, easy card. I'm going to use the happy birthday again, which is what I used in the original card. So here I have my happy, my big blocky happy from the biggest wishes. I'm going to put that in Blackberry Bliss as well, just to tie it into the flowers a little bit. I'm going to put that, give that a, when I first, the first one I didn't stamp completely, so I'm just, which is often the way with new stamps, they often take a little bit of stamping to get them, to get full coverage. Now that looks a little bit better now. So I'm going to bring, now I'll position the birthday as well, just so I can get them right. So I'm just going to pop the birthday. Oh, I've sort of left it a little bit. So maybe the birthday, and then that leaves too much of a gap. I wonder whether maybe I do a different something. No, I haven't left quite as much room there as I did with my original one. So I think we'll go for a different sentiment. That's not quite as big. Just forgive me there. Just swapped plan mid card. We'll still use the biggest wishes, but we'll use a smaller one. I might go, what do we go? Hello friend, maybe. Or thanks. No. Yeah, I'll go hello in the big blocky writing, and then friend in the smaller writing. Just to, so I've got a bit more room to work. There's my hello. And there's a friend here. Friend. Where is it? There. It's not quite as long as the birthday. It's going to fit in better. Yeah. So I'm going to put the friend sort of there, and it's going to overlap the hello. It'll be slightly in the background of it. Just get that in the right position. So about there maybe. Yep, that works. So again, this is a brand new stamp. I'm going to practice stamp it a couple of times just to get full coverage. Hello. Yeah. So I'll bring that in, make sure that's complete. Terrifies me doing this. I'm just going to bring it a bit closer to myself so I can make sure I'm straight. It's a bit hard with the video because you can't quite come in over the top. And I'd hate to put it crooked. There we go. Hello. Isn't that nice? I love that big blocky writing. That's really nice. Give that a clean off. And then in black, I'm going to do the friend. Just to give it a little bit of contrast to the rest of the card. We are. Give that a couple of practices. Yep, that's fine. The ink pad's a little bit had it. So what you do with these, or what you can do with these, is actually overlap the two words a wee bit, and that's why you do them in different colours, just so that they sort of stand out from each other, but are sort of interlinked. And so I'll put my friend there. Okay, that's really good. So hello friend, and I've got some splodges there. Okay, so that's our sentiment there. So you got on the original one, because I left myself a little bit more room, you've got happy birthday with the two part, and then with this one we've got hello friend. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll chuck that aside for the moment. So we've got that one there. So what I'm going to do is grab some of my linen twine, which I had here a second ago and I popped away, which was a bit silly. Where are you? Oh, where did I throw it? Just bear with me for a second. I'll find where I put it. I knew I was going to use it. I don't know why I threw it so far away. Ah, there it is. So I'm just going to grab this linen thread. I'm just going to twine it around the bottom of the card a couple of times. This must be a new one. I can't find the end. Where's the end? Where's the end? It's got to be here somewhere. Oh no. I've picked a random bit and it's not right. There's an end. That'll do. Okay, so we'll just coil this around the card a little bit, 3 times, and tie it in a bow. So I need to leave myself enough for a bow. 1, 2, 3. And I'll chop that off. So I'm going to leave that around that bottom bit there. I'm going to tie my bow over here to the right a little bit. So just curl that around. Tie that in a bow. Now you wouldn't have to do this. I just think it takes away or just gives a little bit of extra texture to the card. It's a funny bit in my twine there. There we are. Bring that in. That's not a little bit long, that end. And what I'm going to do is span out the edges so that the 3 parts where it actually meets the end are not, so they're equidistant away from each other. I'll do the same here. There might be a technical term for it, but I've just sort of distanced them a little bit there at both ends. So you've got the 3 sort of coming in separately from each other and joining in the middle there, whatever that term may be. There you go. I'm going to sort of use some double-sided tape just to trap those in place so they don't move. I'm not going to use the double-sided tape as such. I'm just going to trap it. You could just use washi tape or masking tape or whatever you've got at hand just to trap it so that it doesn't move around anymore. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm going to bring in my card base and some dimensionals. I want big ones. And just going to set it up on the card base a little bit higher. Just give it a bit of height. Plus also because if I try to glue that now to the card base, that twine, that thread, will distort it. So it has to sort of be up and away a bit now that I've chosen to use that thread. So it just wouldn't stick flat, is what I'm saying. Just get the back off those. There we are. Put our card the right way around. No more mirror images cards for me today. And bring that in. So just like that. Get it as straight as I can. There's no wriggle room with dimensionals. They basically stick. Once they're stuck, they're stuck. There's nowhere to go. So there we are. And then I'll bring the little center panel in. Find some glue. Hopefully some glue that works. You never know in this craft room. There's always a few around that have got stuck, and that one's one of them. To get a pin. Let's find one that one looks promising. There we are. that's the inside. Could also bring one of the bring the flower on the inside. I might do that actually. Let's just do just a plain black image of the same flower just up in the corner or in the bottom corner, just here. There we are, just to, so it's not nude on the inside, no nude cards. There we are. Okay, so there is my card for this, well, first card for this morning. That's just using that really lovely Dahlia, Delicate Dahlia stamp set. As I say, a purchase of $180 after the 3rd of August will get you that stamp set for free during Saleabration. So that's a really good, useful stamp set to get. Okay, so the second card I was going to do today, I haven't actually worked out what I want to do, but I thought I'd give it a go, and we'll use the infill stamp from the stamp set, and we may well use some of the flowers and leaves and things as well. So let's give that a go. So again, I'm going to use the black outline. Will I use the black outline? Let's have a little play. I'm going to actually, we'll see how we go. I might just get a little, because I'm just doing this totally unworked out, I'll just get a scrap of white, and we'll see whether we'll use the outline or whether we just use the stamp as is. So this is an experiment. Okay, so we've got that. That's our beautiful outline, which we love. And I'll bring in the infill, and I'm going to just, I thought I might use, what did I decide? I thought I might use a couple of ink colours on this outline. I thought maybe, because you know how sometimes you see the beautiful dahlias and they're sort of lighter at the out edges and they sort of get deeper and darker as you travel in. So I thought that's what I would do with this one. Thought maybe I will use pale papaya for the pale colour and bring a tiny bit of, oh, excuse me while I reach, tiny bit of the Poppy Parade on, just sponged on the inside, just to give it a little bit of deeper, darker looking inside. So let's see how this goes, and whether we use the outline or we just go straight onto the card with the infill stamp. Now it's a matter of working out which way it goes. Which way do you go? There's a definite right and wrong there. No. Let's see. Should have probably practiced this before, Julianne. Okay, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. So this is that's our pale papaya. I'm going to grab a dauber and bring some of the red just on the inside. I might just freshen that up. Bring in some red just on the inside, just a little bit. It looks like a lot, doesn't it? It's a really dark red, that one. Now I've got to remember which way it went. There. Is that it? Yes, that's it. Okay, so stamp that down. Probably should have had a mat under that. Okay. So there we are with a sort of lighter colour on the outside and darker on the inside. It's sort of sweet, isn't it? Okay. Now let's just see if we do it straight with the colours and no black outline, just as an experiment. Something must be happening with your system, Sally Mansfield. You're popping in and popping out. Have you got issues with your internet connection? Okay, so let's just... Oh. Okay, yep. So you're basically just getting an outline with nothing. I think there's probably a little bit too much red in that one. Let's just try it without the red. I think I like it with the, and you guys can tell me. I think I prefer it with the outline. It's just more defined more clearly what it's supposed to be. Okay, so there, that one's better than this one because I've actually got the matte underneath it. Which I quite like actually. With the matte underneath it, it's quite good. I think I'm going to actually try making a card without the outline. I think I'm just going to try doing it with that. You guys don't tell anyone if it goes terribly wrong, but we'll just try. So we've got a piece of cardstock there. It's just a plain piece of basic white, and it's just got, I think it's 4 by 5 5/8 or something. Pam, is this? Yes, this is the Dahlia for Saleabration that starts on the 3rd of August, Pam. So this is the freebie when you spend 180 Australian. I think it's 100 American or something like that. I'm not quite sure. It's one of American watches can enlighten me what the limit for America is. I'm just going to put a tiny bit. I've gone a bit crazy with the red on that previous one. I'm going to put 3 up the side, I think, this time. The first one will be down and slightly off. Okay, put this underneath. It's going to get inky. And I'll do another one. I'll put this one up here. Okay. And I'm going to put another one. I might put it on this side actually so they don't overlap each other too much. Sort of I'm changing my card as I go, aren't I? I really didn't have an idea. I just knew I wanted to see it with the infill stamp. I'll put this one over here. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking it, I think. I think. Yeah, well, we'll see how we go. So I want to sort of bring some green into that. As I think I've mentioned to you guys before, sometimes a card is a bit meh until you bring in the green for the leaves. So I'm going to bring in this cute little leaf. Pop my ink away before I have an ink disaster. Just put that on a little block. I might actually use my mask again. And a green. I need a green. We might go. What does the dahlia leaf look like? Dark or light? If we go something not too dark, we go soft succulent. Here we go. We'll go soft succulent. See how that goes. I'm going to use my mask again. It should fit this one because it fits the original design. So rotating to find where it actually should go. There, that's it. There we are. And let's bring these in. Do I like that colour? I don't know that I like that colour. What would be better? Guys, help me out here. What green would be better? If anyone actually knows what a dahlia leaf looks like, maybe you could enlighten me. I don't think I've got any in the garden at the moment. I know I had one, but I think it died. Let's go. Maybe go shaded spruce. Let's see. I'm going to watch for your answers to tell me what green you think I should use. What was that? That was the soft succulent. Let's try if I like this one. Yeah, this is a shaded spruce. I think that's got to be the colour. Yeah, I think so. I haven't waited for your answers. Apologies for that, but you're probably yelling at me with some different green. It will probably be lovely. But anyway, let's try the shaded spruce. fairly standard with my layout of my, oh, I like that. Look at that. Look at that. That's really nice, I think. Surprised myself now. Okay, so let's rotate this little guy around and see if we can line him up. There it is. I'm getting to know the shape now. It's not quite as challenging as it was before, but I think that's really, that's the right colour. I like that. So we'll bring in some more. Okay. And this one. That's nice. I reckon that this would be a lovely, you've seen people, and I might do that in a later video once everyone's got it available to them. You've seen the ones where they do like a one-sheet wonder where they stamp all their own stamps across a piece of A4 paper and then cut it down. I reckon that would be just beautiful with that combination. So keep an eye out. I might do one at a later stage. Okay, so I don't want to ruin that now. I think that's probably enough there. I don't want to go too far and overdo things as I have been known to do in the past. Anyone who watches me, especially when I'm winging it like I am today. So I'll put my little, I think I've still got a little bit of life left in that mask, so I might leave that. Okay, so now let's finish it off. Finish it off, finish it off. So obviously we need a backing colour. I'm wondering whether the shaded spruce would be the way to go. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I like that. Behind there, maybe that would be nice. We need to bring some sentiment in, so I'm going to have to do some sort of sentiment there. I don't have any shaded spruce ribbon, unfortunately. I wonder whether the evergreen would be as good. Where is my evening evergreen ribbon? Where are you? No, no, no. No. Nowhere. It's disappeared. Well, maybe we can go without ribbon. As I say, I don't want to overdo it too much. We might just go without. Oh, there it is. She says changing her mind because she's found the one she's after. Here we go. Apologies for all this happening off screen. It's just my ribbons are here packed away. So we've got evening evergreen ribbon. And I haven't even taken the thing off. You can see that. So what I can do. Oh, that's nice too, I think. It's nice and dark. Yes, I like that. Okay, so I've just stood up a bit, so it looks like I'm at a funny angle of things. So it's just, I think, better standing up. I don't know if anyone else is like that. I often find myself, when I have to concentrate on something, I often stand up, which is a bit weird. But then, you know, I'm a slightly weird person. And so let's just move that all away. Forgive me there, I'm a bit crooked now. Anyway, I'm just going to cut my card base. Hope this doesn't make you seasick or anything. So normal but card base. Okay. Bring this back over. Do I have to trim this down? No, not too bad. A little bit of ribbon across the middle. Well, maybe that's a little bit too dark. I wonder what the whether the pale, oh, that might be nice too. That's the actual pale, the same in colour ribbon, but that's in pale papaya. I think that's actually nicer. It doesn't take too much, as much away from the from the beautiful flowers underneath. So I'm going to use that one instead. So rather than the evening evergreen, I'll use the pale papaya. Then we need to sort of decide on a sentiment and a sentiment box. So what have we got in the set? Let's let the set inspire us. Thank you kindly. You inspire me. Sending heartfelt sympathy. I don't go the sympathy cards straight away. Don't sort of like having them on hand. Seems to be courting danger. Thank you kindly. I might use the thank you kindly. And I'm just going to pop a little sentiment box, which I'm going to have to work out which one to use. Thank you kindly. It's over here. Jan wasn't going to get this one, but I've convinced her. We have to spend $180, Jan, but this time of year there's not too much trouble there, I shouldn't think. I know I can unfortunately pop in an order and find it climbs up pretty quick, especially with the new Christmas stuff coming. Guys, if you're not a demonstrator, just wait till a couple of weeks' time and you'll see some pretty wonderful Christmas products starting to be seen. I've already done a couple of videos myself, and there's plenty more where that came from. This is a bit of a scrappy piece of paper. I might use this. Is this one nicer? Pretty scrappy bit of scrap. There we are. That'll do. So then we'll find myself a little sentiment die. Which one? Pen flower, no, tasteful labels. Apologies. When I this one was basically a total what's the word? Making it up from scratch. This one completely. So, oh, I think I like that. So I'm going to pop that one. This is from the, which one's this one? Tasteful Labels. Sentiments. It tends to be my go-to when I don't need to think about it too quick. I just go straight to this one. It's got something for just about any sentiment you may want to use. I'm just going to cut this with the die cutting machine. Bear with me. I do have my new plates for my die cutting machine. You may know if you were watching me a few weeks ago. I did actually put my sandwich through incorrectly on my die cutting machine and I ruined my base plate. So I now have a nice new base plate, and I've learned a lesson that you always check the order of your plates when you put them through, because it can have quite devastating consequences if you put them in the wrong order, which I did. I didn't think it would be that bad, but it was quite bad. It basically ruined the base plate completely, which was a shame. Anyway, it's all good. Okay, so we might pop that ribbon around. What I'm going to do is cut the ribbon first of all to just be slightly bigger, wider than our card. Just like that. And I'll use some double-sided tape to attach it in place on the back. It was a bit of a grotty piece of cardstock as well. Obviously, I've got black ink all over the place. I didn't put the lid on it and it went everywhere. Around here. We have to think of some bling as well, so we'll use some bling. I don't want to be too central. I don't want to cover one of my flowers completely, but this is sort of halfway between two, which is sort of a good placing. So I'll just put that ribbon on, try and get it sort of straight. There we are. I'm going to pop that onto my card. So we've gone with the shaded spruce card base, which I think is really nice. Pop that on there. You know what would be nice as well, if we stamped another one, another flower, or one of the little flowers or something, we could put that as a focal point on the front. And I've got my little sentiment there that I'm going to pop on some dimensionals. I've always been quite in awe of demonstrators that can make beautiful cards, like without even planning. I'm not quite to that point yet. So probably if I thought about this a little bit more, we could have probably done a little bit extra, but we're getting there. So I've used a lot of dimensionals there because I want to be able to capture the ribbon and still attach to the card. So pop that just on there. And then I'm going to bring back a little bit of ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow on the edge, on the left-hand side of our sentiment box there. So I'm just going to leave myself a bit enough, given you all know my bow tying isn't the best in the world. But I do find it easier to have the base ribbon in place and then just tie the bow to the base ribbon rather than circling it and trying to tie it all in one piece. That I really do struggle with that. So if you find that you are all fingers and thumbs when it comes to your ribbon, it's probably a good way to try as well. I blame my children, the fact that they were both born male and don't tend to have a lot of ribbons happening. And I was a bit of a tomboy, wouldn't sit still long enough for mum to put a ribbon in my hair anyway. So after about the age of 10, there weren't really ribbons happening in my family. Never thought it was a skill I would miss, but anyway, you never know where life's going to take you. Yeah, I might just trim that a little bit. No, I don't actually like it. Don't actually know whether I need the bow. I like the ribbon, but maybe I just leave the ribbon and not do the bow. I can always take it off after. So if you see this card appear and it has no bow, you'll know that I decided I prefer the ribbon just on its own. We'll leave it there for now though. It's this bit here that's got me. Apologies. No, I'll leave it off. Can't do it today. I'm obviously not in the mood. I'll just get rid of it. I'll come back to it later where you guys don't have to watch the excruciating pain of me trying to do a bow. Okay, so we'll just leave that there. I think I actually like it. I think it sort of emphasises the flowers more, not where you don't want to sort of lose it under bows and bling and stuff like that. So I might just leave that bow off and just leave the ribbon there. I will put a little bit of bling in though, because we always need a little bit of bling. Just try and find my, I think just plain basic rhinestones, just in silver. And I will grab a couple around the place. I am very indecisive today. I can't even work out where I want my bling. That's very unusual for me. Should have stuck with the card that I actually had designed rather than try and wing it, obviously. That's all right. We'll leave it at that. There we are. Okay, I think that's really, really lovely. I think if I'd done too much more to that, I think it probably would ruin it. So we might just leave it at that as being just those beautiful flowers and a little bit of sentiment and bow. So not too much, not too overdoing it too much. But you can see there that the images that we get with just a single stamp of that infill stamp or that inspiration stamp is just really, really lovely. Hopefully you can see that in the light. And it definitely needs that, I think, that little bit of just a blush of some different colour in the middle there as well. Maybe that one's a little bit dark, but these other two turned out really, really well. So, okay, there you go. That was a bit excruciating, that last one, unfortunately. Apologies for that. But I think it turned out for the best. I do like that ribbon, and I don't think it needs a bow. If you pop in the comments later on and tell me you think it does, I'll give it another go. But I think it's actually just nice the way it is without too much fussiness taking away from those flowers. So we have that card that I've just completed, and we have the Hello Friend, which is based on the original Happy Birthday that we've done as well. So as I say, this is the Delicate Dahlia stamp set. Here we go. It is a Saleabration freebie that you can put onto your order free of charge when you spend $180 Australian from the 3rd of August. It really is. It's a lovely one. I think I'll be keeping that one. Sometimes I sell my stamp sets once an event finishes, but I think this one will stay in the permanent collection. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. I hope you both liked both of those. They are very different cards, aren't they? They're very, well, this one's quite like atmospheric, good dark, sort of, sort of earthy, and this one's sort of much brighter and poppier. Yeah, but lovely in its way. Okay, so thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all next time. Okay, bye.